Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Filled with wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's bring on the tag team of Andrew Fish Fane, Joe DeFalco, and your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, and we are back on the Mark Hoke Show. Thanks for joining us. Hour number 2 of the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here in Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke, taking care of business here on KDWN 101.5 FM. And, of course, joined by the head honcho of Future Stars of Wrestling, Joe DeFalco. Joe, how are you? Joe's still got himself muted. All right. We'll get Joe on here in just a little bit with us, but, we are very excited because, there we are. Joe, what's up?
I'm here. I'm, I don't really know this program too well. So you were saying that the volume was low, so I was trying to adjust it. So I guess I muted myself instead.
It's all good. It's all good, but you sound great. That's the important part.
Are you insinuating that I didn't sound great before?
Well, it's crisper. It's nice to have a crisp Joe DeFalco.
Yeah, you sound different. I was like, am I like on the right channel? When I chimed in, it was like, it does definitely adjust the voice. That you're sounding totally different to me.
Well, that might be a good thing, but very glad to have you with me, Joe, and I'm sure you know this lady pretty well. We are, and of course the company, we are very excited. Of course, coming up here in Las Vegas, Joe, as well, we have Impact Wrestling invading Sam's Town down here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got the No Surrender pay-per-view on Friday, which you can get on Impact Plus and Impact's YouTube channel, and is an amazing card with just a ton of terrific matches, to say the least. Josh Alexander defending the world title against Rich Swann, and so much more. And I know, Joe, you do a lot of work with Impact, and it's going to be exciting to have him in town, right?
Oh, absolutely. And then they recently just signed Jai Vidal, so. Kenny King's part of Impact, so we have 3 of our big FSW guys that are part of Impact. We'll be there actually Thursday because they use our ring and they'll use our crew, and hopefully some of the younger guys might get some opportunities as extras, and some might even get matches. So it's always a big weekend. When Impact comes out, usually it's for two tapings, but because they're doing the pay-per-view, we're going to be very busy, man. We're going to be there 3 days, and our job is to sit back and assist in whatever Scott Diamore needs. We try to provide it for them.
All right, and of course they'll also be there on Saturday and Sunday. We've got the Fallout TV tapings as well at Sam's Town. So this is going to be a terrific Impact weekend, and we are very excited, to say the least, to have the 2-time Impact Knockouts Women's Champion, as well as former Ring of Honor World Champion, on the show. She was the number 3 wrestler in Pro Wrestling Illustrated's 150 in 2021, and just an incredible talent. We welcome Deonna Purrazzo to the show. Deonna, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey, we're great. Just recovering from a lot of wrestling last night and get ready for some more this weekend. It's going to be a great weekend, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. I think that, the more wrestling, the better, right? So it's been an incredible last few weeks for Impact in the build-up to No Surrender. So I'm very excited to be back in Vegas.
Yeah, and, for people that aren't familiar with you, give them just a little bit about your background. And you've been doing this for a really long time and very successfully. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I am the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Like you said in my intro, I am a 2-time Knockouts World Champion, a 1-time Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, a 1-time AAA Dave Reina's Champion, a 1-time Impact Knockouts World Tag Team Champion. So Impact has been my home for a very long time. But, this past December was 10 years that I've been wrestling. So I've been all over the world. I've been able to really build my resume. And I consider myself the greatest technical women's wrestler in the world. I bring my Fujiwara armbar to the table, and you know what? And the countdown to No Surrender Friday night, I'm ready to break Gisele Shaw and possibly Jai Vidal's arms.
Whoa!
I don't discriminate. I'm down to do the breaking of 2 arms in one night.
Why don't you just go for 4 and get it all done?
That's possible too.
just throwing some ideas. I don't know if Jay's going to be happy about that. We're actually having Jay on SportsX Radio on Tuesday night, and he might not be happy I made that suggestion. By the way, do you know that you are a betting favorite on this on BetOnline.ag? You are a minus 600 in your match against Gisele Shaw coming up. So
is that a good thing? I don't know what that means.
That means you are a heavy favorite.
Oh, well, you know what? The world knows. The world knows what the Virtuosa is capable of. Absolutely.
And tell everybody a little bit about your opponent that you have coming up. Obviously, you have Gisele, and Jay is going to be with her, too. What should we be expecting out of this match?
So in the last, 2 or 3 weeks, Gisele has really staked her claim of being the Black Widow of Impact Wrestling, meaning she's tried to be in all these different tag teams over the last year and a half, and they've all failed. But my problem with Gisele is that I am loyal to a fault. And she brought up my best friend, Chelsea Green, who is not with Impact Wrestling anymore. And when you bring up my family and my best friend, then you bring up me. So Gisele and Jai Vidal tried to pour chili on me, and that now backfired twice. So I can't just say this is going to be a cakewalk because I know Gisele, and I've tagged with Gisele in the past quite a bit. She's an incredible athlete, and so is Jay. So I know that they're going to have, a plan, and they're going to try to use each other to manipulate me. But like I said, I'm the Virtuosa of Impact Wrestling, and I've been there, done it, I've seen it all, and I'm more than ready to prove myself yet again in my journey to becoming a possible 3-time Knockouts World Champion.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up, and you've done so much in professional wrestling already. I mean, you've wrestled everywhere, and you've doing this for 10 years. I mean, you've seen all the changes in women's wrestling over that period of time, and it is amazing where it was to where it is today, and you've been a huge part of that. Does it kind of blow you away how incredible the women's side has become over the last 5, 6, 7 years?
Yeah, it really does blow me away when I sit to think about it, right? Because when you're in the midst of things and you're just doing your work and doing what you're passionate about, you don't get to reflect all the time. So, when I get to talk about it or people ask questions, I really do get blown away by just how far women have come in our industry, and the fact that I was 9 years old watching WWE saying, I'm going to be a women's wrestler one day, and I'm going to help change the perception of women's wrestling. And now, as a 28-and-a-half-year-old woman who's done this for 10 years, I can say, I've done that. Especially the work I've done in Impact Wrestling has allowed me to do that. I've been in the first ever Knockouts pay-per-view main event. I've won championships and got to represent this company all over the world within other companies, and to really be the face of this company is something that I dreamt of since I was little. So it's a real dream come true in every way, shape, and form for me to not just be a professional wrestler, but to be able to say I am the Virtuosa. And these are all of the things that I've done over the last 10 years that really have been my passion project and my true body of work.
And one thing that I think people forget sometimes about Impact and the tradition of that Knockouts title, there have been some incredible names that have held this championship over the years, all the way from Gail Kim. Mickie James is the current champion right now. You have Jordynne Grace recently, Tara, Angelina Love, and Madison Rayne, and that list just goes on and on and on of incredible talent that have held that championship and have really, I think the Knockouts title, especially over recent years, has kind of stood out even more than the men's championship in a lot of ways. It's it's really been an unbelievable run for the Knockouts division and whoever's been the champion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think, and I've said this countless times, that when you become a knockout, there's a legacy that you're upholding by being a part of this Knockouts division. It's what Gail Kim and Awesome Kong created, 15 years ago or however long ago it was, but you feel that weight when you're in our locker room, and it pushes myself, it pushes Mickie James still to this day to be hungry and fight for women's wrestling and fight for opportunities, because as far as we've come over the last 10, 12 years, there's still so much more work to be done. So being a part of this locker room and getting to learn from someone like Mickie James, someone like Gail Kim, who's in the back and helping produce and guiding us girls to do this work, to be better and to create change, has been so influential to my wrestling career, but also then like my real life, and it's incredible. It's been a dream come true to become a knockout and have my little part in carrying that legacy on and pushing it further.
I'm just curious, what were you thinking when you saw Mickie James come out at the Royal Rumble a while back with the Impact Women's Championship on her waist?
Oh, God, I was just as surprised as everyone else when it was announced, because I didn't know, and they had told us that we think you girls are going to be the main event, but we don't want to announce it. We're just going to have it be organic, right? And because you deserve it. And we've been telling such an incredible story. We don't want it to seem like, hey, look what we're doing, and we deserve credit for this. You guys have earned it, period. So we're just going to let it be that night. And then, the Thursday before the Hard to Kill 2021, they announced, Mickie James will be in the Royal Rumble, and it was like, holy crap, this is huge, because, we're fighting for everyone's fighting for eyes to be on their product. So to kind of collaborate with WWE in that way, to have the Knockouts World Championship on the Royal Rumble in front of, millions of people, does our product so much better, because whether you're an Impact fan or not, you're going to be like, that's really interesting, and I now want to tune in to see what Mickie James does. Does Mickie James come out as a Knockouts World Champion after Impact's pay-per-view? And it just enticed people, to either give us a chance or be like, I cannot miss this. I'm buying it right now. So I think it was incredible for all of us.
Yeah, and of course, we are talking to Deonna Purrazzo, who will be facing off with Gisele Shaw at Impact's No Surrender pay-per-view that is coming up Friday. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, right here in Las Vegas. So make sure you get your tickets and head on down to Sam's Town. It's going to be a great time, and top to bottom, this is an amazing card. I mean, you got to be thrilled to be a part of this. I mean, just so much talent.
Absolutely. And, what's great is, yes, we're putting on No Surrender Friday night. Then we have the Fallout to No Surrender Saturday and Sunday at Sam's Town. But we're kind of taking over Vegas for the week. Saturday and Sunday as well at Sam's Town, we're doing meet and greets with the Sports Toys and Entertainment Collections Convention. So there's 10, 12, 15 of us that all throughout Saturday and Sunday are going to be up there meeting fans and signing autographs and taking pictures. So Impact really stepped it up and said, we're not just taking over, for one day or 2 days like normal. We're taking over the whole damn weekend, and we're going to do it right. So, if you don't catch your favorite superstar at the meet and greet before or after the show, there's opportunities to meet us all throughout the weekend. And I think that is just incredible, because it's the first time we're doing something like that,
Yeah, I saw that too at the toy show. That is a packed house over there. Rikishi on down, and a ton of the Impact superstars are going to be there. So that's going to be a terrific night as well. Joe, did you have any questions you wanted to fire at Deonna?
No, I'll be talking to her there. We always are looking for top-notch women wrestlers. Viva Van's our champion, so I think that would be a nice matchup to possibly do at a future Mecca. In the past, Impact kind of messed up our schedule, because usually they run a Friday, Saturday, and we can run a big show on Sunday. being that we have a good relationship with Scott and Impact for many years, a lot of times we would use the talent that was already there. Like last year, we did a joint show with Sami Callihan and Revolver. So it was great having guys like Josh Alexander and Rich Swann and Sammy and that whole crew on the show. So as I said, I always look forward. It's one of the longest weekends of wrestling for me, and it's not even my company. So it's always cool to have Impact come down. But I don't have to worry about anything.
Go ahead, Deonna.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I think it's awesome that Impact, goes to these markets and gets to work with the local companies. And then, that's how I got my start, was like being able to go and say like, hey, I was in WWE, and then, work with this place. And I showed up on, Impact, and then this company wanted to book me. So like Impact was one of the first places that was really able to like give me a platform that then I could grow like my indie resume off of. So I think it's awesome that Impact works with you guys or whoever it is in whatever market we're in, and then your talent gets to work with us. And like, I love to get in the ring with like the hot, indie girl and the girl who's like local, because it makes my job 10 times easier, and I don't do a lot of indies anymore. So I don't get to wrestle a lot of different people. So it's been really fun. When we were in Atlanta, I got to wrestle Ashley Biambao and stuff like that. So I hope that there's an opportunity to wrestle one of your women on our show this weekend.
Well, there you go, Joe. We get Viva Van against Deonna Purrazzo. That would be all right.
Well, yeah. Last time Impact was there, Rochelle Riveter, one of our girls, got to wrestle. Maserati's wrestled numerous times. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was with Tom Howard, who's married to the now Zoe Stark, who was our women's champion, Lacey Ryan. And I remember sitting there watching, and they had her wrestle Jordan Grace, who was the champion at the time. And they gave her a platform. They had a 12, 15-minute match. We were going in there thinking, hey, they're going to give her 3 or 4 minutes. She's going to get a move or two. But they respected our women's champion and had one of the most competitive matches on the show. And it was the same thing with Chris Bay. When Chris Bay was getting looked at, he had a match with Daga that we were shocked, like how much Chris Bay they allowed the local guy, which was great because our fans really turn out for that event. And when FSW people appear on Impact and they get shown the love from the company, it really helps them moving forward. Like, hopefully a Matt Vandergriff gets an opportunity at the next show.
Yeah, and of course Chris Bay, we had Chris on last week, and he's going to be with the Bullet Club taking on the Time Machine on this card too. I mean, this is going to be a terrific night. Hey, Deonna, we got to take a break, but we'll stick around. We'll get more with you here. If you mind sticking around, we'd love to keep you on the show for a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm here as long as you need me.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, it's going to be more with Impact superstar Deonna Purrazzo here on the Mark Hoke Show. And as soon as I click the right button, we're just moving everything around here. There we go. We will be back with more. And don't forget, once again, Impact No Surrender Friday, plus the Fallout shows Saturday and Sunday at Sam's Town. Go to Impact Wrestling /events and get your tickets. It's going to be a great time, and I'll be there Saturday and Sunday too. So we'll be back with more on the Mark Hoke Show with Deonna Purrazzo right after this.
Las Vegas.
This is Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling is coming to Sin City this weekend at Sam's Town Casino.
And if you think you got a show this time, hell, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Tickets are on sale now. Go to ImpactWrestling.com for more details. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back on the Mark Hoke Show. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment here in Las Vegas and, around the world. We're just that darned good. Of course, Joe DeFalco with me, and we are joined by two-time Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo, who is going to be in action this whole weekend. Of course, we got the big pay-per-view at Sam's Town on Friday, So make sure you check that out. And, of course, TV tapings for the Fallout shows Saturday and Sunday as well. So get your tickets now, guys. You can get a 3-pack for all 3 days and have a great time with the gang at Impact Wrestling this coming weekend. Should be a lot of fun, and I look forward to coming down there. Deonna, one thing I've seen you wrestle a few times, and one of the first times I got to see you was the match that you have in Mercedes Martinez when you guys were on AEW, and I've seen some of your other performances too. And one thing that I really like about what you do in the ring is, man, there's no messing around with you. I mean, you're in there, you're all business, tearing people apart, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. How did you develop that ring style that you have right now, and how much do you enjoy twisting people like that?
Oh, I love it. I think that technical wrestling is just like kind of a niche thing, right? And being able to bring that forward to a larger audience is what my goal is. I like to stay on the mat. I'm not a crazy high flyer. I throw in some like flashy fun things now, but for the majority of my career, it was just, catch as catch can, kind of wrestling, reversals, submissions. That's what I loved about wrestling as I got older, is someone like a Dean Malenko or a Chris Jericho, and that like WCW like hybrid style is what I loved to study once I was learning professional wrestling. And the building that I trained in was like an old elementary school, so the ceilings weren't very high. Once the ring was in there, we couldn't go to the top rope. So I never got a chance to do any of the high-flying things off the top rope, the flips and, things like that. It just wasn't part of our training because there wasn't the ability to do it. So my trainer, Damian Adams in New Jersey, very much so just taught us like how to grapple and how to reverse things a million different times, a million different pins, and every pin has a reversal. He also was a student at OVW back in like 2005, that time frame when it was WWE Developmental. So he trained with Rip Rogers, and it's just a very, American style of wrestling, classic 101 basics. And he likes to give, his students that foundation, because then it's up to us to be able to go out there and be able to adapt to any style. If you have great footwork, and if you can listen, and you, are just aware of your surroundings, you can wrestle anybody. And so that was really my foundation, was just, basics and how to do my basics well, and then everything else was up to me. So I just, I praise my trainer Damian and Rip so much for giving me a solid foundation to be able then to go to Japan and be able to just listen and learn and absorb, and then create this unique hybrid style that I have now.
And it is certainly fun to watch, and we're going to get to see it at No Surrender against Gisele Shaw. And, of course, one of our local favorites, Jai Vidal, is going to be in her corner. So, boy, I'll tell you better be ready for Jay, though. He's sneaky. I mean, he'll get you. So keep your eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, I was celebrating my win Thursday night against Steph DeLander, and they attacked me and tried to, again, like I said, pour some chili down all over me. But, I am the Virtuosa, so
yes,
I was able to get out of the way. But, yeah, I'm going to have my work cut out for me. I know that stepping in the ring with Gisele is no easy victory, and especially when she has Jay, because Jay, we haven't seen necessarily the wrestling that he can do, but I know what he can do. I know what he's capable of, and it's amazing. So I have my work cut out for me, but like I said, I have a proven track record here, and you can't count me out of the fight.
The one thing that I think's been fascinating about Impact, especially recently, is that the roster has just gotten so much better over the past few years. And, sometimes people have forgotten about Impact, and they shouldn't have. But right now, I mean, top to bottom, this is just such a great group. And, and I know Joe has sent a couple people over there. But if you look at, just on the women's side, you have, Mickie James and Jordan Grace and so many others. But on the men's side, I mean, you've got the Bullet Club guys. You've got the Motor City Machine Guns in there. Josh Alexander has done a great job. Trey Miguel. I mean, this is an incredibly talented group that has come together recently. And, I'm just curious how you feel about the improvement of the Impact roster over the past couple of years and what it's done from when you came back till now?
It's insane right now. I think that, and I'll get a little flack for this, but the roster we have right now is probably the best roster that Impact has compiled in, the last 7 or 8 years. Everybody is pushing to make this product better, to put their best foot forward, to, use these relationships that Impact Management and Scott D'Amore are cultivating, and really use them to propel ourselves individually and as a company. And when I came to Impact, it was May of 2020. I had just been released from WWE, and I didn't even know if I wanted to wrestle anymore. I was just in such like a weird mind frame of like, do I even love this anymore? And like WWE had just really taken a lot of my confidence. And I wasn't sure if Impact was going to be the right place for me, if wrestling was going to be the right place for me. And the minute I stepped in the doors during COVID in Nashville, there's just this camaraderie. And I was greeted with open arms by Scott D'Amore, by Gail Kim, by the roster that I had known, but then also by people that I hadn't known that were just excited to work with me. So I think that when, people from New Japan come in, there's no sense of like, we're Impact and you don't belong. We welcome everybody. Even just people coming in for the weekend to do some enhancement work or help set up the ring and help us put on our shows. Everybody feels a part of this Impact family, whether they're there for one day or you've been there for 10 years. So I think that that's what's pushing us forward, is the sense of family and the sense of, if one of us succeeds, we all succeed.
Of course, we're on the Mark Hoke Show with Deonna Purrazzo, Impact Wrestling superstar. And, you mentioned about the release from WWE and how much that took out of you. And, it seems like a lot of people have found a safe haven in Impact when something like that happens. How do you overcome, something that a release from a place like WWE and then coming to a place like Impact where it seems like everyone just finds a way to pull themselves back together?
I think, again, it's just part of that camaraderie and part of that people not giving us a chance. And our backs are against the wall, and we have doubters and people who like to talk negatively about our show and what we're doing. And we all just have this sense of, like, it's bigger than myself. And I'm going to, put not our goals on the back burner, but, like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do what's best for everybody. And in the end, I'm going to shine. So for me, it was just feeling like, okay, these people want to work with me. They want to do good business. We want to put our best foot out there. And, like, of course, a large part of it is in NXT, I wasn't getting opportunities. So when I came to Impact, it was like, hey, you're going to be in the title picture right away. And we just want to put you out there and let you do what you do, and that's going to prove everyone wrong. It wasn't a crazy formula with me because, luckily I'm the Virtuosa. I'm the greatest wrestler in the world, right? And they gave me the platform to showcase that. And I don't think that's much different for someone like Steve Macklin. Of course, he's my husband, so I'm a little biased, but he was released from WWE in a similar way. Didn't get very many opportunities. When he was able to come in at Impact, and the first time he wrestled, they were like, great, you can work. Now let's give you the opportunity to, build this character and build who you're going to be. And you never got the chance to. So I think Impact does a really great job in terms of seeing what people are capable of and giving them the opportunity in the room to embrace it and grow from it. There's no mistakes in our locker room. It's like, this worked or this didn't, and I'm going to do it again or I'm not. And there's no walking on eggshells. There's no feeling like you can't voice your opinion, whether you like it or you don't like it. Again, there's a camaraderie of, like, we're going to put our best foot forward and everyone's going to look good here. So I think that just is a trickle effect of, I didn't feel that way somewhere else. And when you feel that way and you find that sense of belonging, you latch onto it. And then you do your best work for those people who are doing the same for you.
So what does the future hold for Deonna Purrazzo? Because the interesting part is you're still not even 30 yet, and you've been doing this for a decade. Where are you going to go from here? I mean, you've done so much. Obviously there's more to do, but what do you see yourself doing in 5 and 10 years down the road in this business?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Like I said, I just got married, so I definitely want to be a mom one day, and I think that is kind of what my long-term goal is like, I, in wrestling, want to feel like I've done everything before I take a leave of absence and go be a mom. So I think specifically at Impact, there's still the knockouts again. There's a legacy, and we continue to get opportunities to push boundaries and have the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match that Tasha Steelz won at Hard to Kill 2021. That same night, we had the first ever Knockouts World Championship pay-per-view, myself and Mickie James, in the first ever Texas Death Match. Mickie then was just in the second ever Knockouts pay-per-view main event with Jordynne Grace when she won her Knockouts World Championship. So we're continuing to get these opportunities, but it's not as frequent as I would like. So I want to see women main events all of the time. I want it to be a regular thing. And with that, not just because we're women, but because we're telling stories that warrant us getting the main event. So I think in terms of what I'd like to do is be able to tell another incredible story similar to what I did with Mickie James and again, become a 3-time Knockouts World Champion. That's my ultimate goal in the next, year. But after that, I think it's, being able to settle down and be like, I'm comfortable with where I'm at in wrestling and see what real life has for me. I'm in college. I graduate in July of this summer. So there's some real life stuff going on that I'm really focused on and excited for my future.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. Well, Deonna, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Once again, tell everybody where they can reach you and what we've got going on this weekend.
Yeah, everyone can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Deonna Purrazzo. I'm going to be in Vegas this coming weekend for No Surrender on Friday and the Fallout of No Surrender Saturday and Sunday at Sam's Town Live. I hope everyone comes out. If you don't have tickets, you can get them now, impactwrestling.com. It's going to be amazing at the card, top to bottom. And Impact never disappoints. Plus, you never know who else is going to show up. So I hope everyone joins us this coming weekend.
All right. Well, Deonna, thank you for coming on the Mark Hoke Show. We really do appreciate it and wish you all the best of luck this weekend and in the future. And maybe we'll see that Knockouts title back on your waist sometime pretty soon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you got it. All right. There you go. Deonna Purrazzo, everybody, on the Mark Hoke Show. I want to thank her for coming on. Joe, she is an incredible talent, isn't she?
Absolutely. Impact, and you were talking about the roster, and I don't know the reasoning for it, but Impact's always been kind of under the radar when it comes to the wrestling fans. And it might be because of being on Access TV and maybe it doesn't reach as many people. But when you're looking, or I'm looking for talent for a bigger show, Impact has so many guys. Like when we did the FSW Revolver show, obviously Sami Callihan, major part of Impact, so he's got a tight-knit crew there, but guys like Ace Austin and Josh Alexander got to wrestle Tom Lawler at our event with the FSW Revolver show, and Trey Miguel, unfortunately, got delayed on his flight, so we weren't able to use him. But we got to see so many Impact dudes, Rich Swann, and the list goes on and on of these super talents that when you don't see them on Impact, and that's what's great. That's a reason why Chris Bay re-signed with Impact, because re-signing with Impact because of their schedule, it gives him a lot of opportunities to wrestle elsewhere. And he got to go to Japan for the first time because of Impact, as did Ace Austin. So, Impact, it slides under the radar, but, a true wrestling fan knows there's so much talent there.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great time this weekend. So once again, just go to impactwrestling.com and check out the schedule. No Surrender pay-per-view on Friday night, and then Fallout Night 1 on Saturday, Fallout Night 2 on Sunday. So it's going to be a blast, and I'll be down there for a couple of them. I can't make the pay-per-view, unfortunately, but I'll get down there for a little bit of it and check it out for sure. And now, Joe, by the way, are you ready for this? Are you ready? We're gonna make somebody really happy, because in just a second I'm gonna block these phone lines off. So I'm gonna hit a magic button here. Are you ready? I'm gonna hit the magic button, and now the winner. We're gonna take caller number 3, and the winner is gonna get to go to the Vegas Toy Show. You're gonna get two 2-day passes, plus you get to meet former WWE champion and wrestling legend Sergeant Slaughter. That's right, Sergeant Slaughter. You get to go to the Vegas Toy Show at the Ahern Convention Center March 4th and 5th. It's going to be a great time. We've got Ron Perlman coming in there and Peter Cullen. Also, Joe, you'll remember these two, Catherine Bach and Tom Wopat from the Dukes of Hazzard. Eric Estrada is going to be there as well.
I hated that show.
Oh, well, you know what? You didn't hate Catherine Bach. I'm going to tell you that. Eric Estrada is going to be there as well. But as soon as we hit our commercial break.
Eric Estrada, now that's big time.
Yeah, the Chips, man.
Chips.
Yeah, so just as soon as we hit our commercial break, guys, caller number 3 is going to win that great package, and you're going to get a photo op with Sergeant Slaughter, so it's going to be pretty awesome. All right, so we're going to head to our commercial break. We'll get our winner, and we will come back and wrap up the show. Myself and Joe DeFalco on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We'll be right back.
Vegas Toy Show coming March 4th and 5th at the Ahern Hotel and Convention Center in Las Vegas. Vegas Toy Show features vendors and celebrities, including our friend Sergeant Slaughter. The WWF Hall of Famer will be joining the Vegas Toy Show. He's joined by Peter Cullen, Ron Perlman, Eric Estrada, and many more. Visit VegasToyShow.com for more information. Celebrity guest presented by the Pop Shop, a House of Cars entertainment production.
Tired of the same boring food when you're out for breakfast or lunch? I'm Mark Hoke, and I have an idea for a different place to go with unique food you're sure to enjoy, and that's Unique Eats. Take some time out of your busy day and stop on in to Unique Eats, featuring celebrity chef Dominic Tedesco and his friendly staff. Whether it's a great start to your day with one of Unique Eats' amazing omelets, or lunch with his incredible sandwiches, pasta, and award-winning pizzas, you'll be in for a fantastic dining experience that won't break the bank. Unique Eats also features a smoothie bar and full vegetarian menu as well. Plus, if you need catering, you can count on Unique Eats no matter what the occasion. So what are you waiting for? Get on over to Unique Eats at 3100 South Durango, Suite 100, open daily until 3 p.m. Call them at 702-992-3038 or visit uniqueeatslv.com for their full menu and catering info. Break out of the same old routine and have a great meal at Unique Eats today.
101.5 FM KDWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are back for our final segment on The Mark Hoke Show here on KDWN 101.5 FM. Still on 7:20 a.m. till the end of the month. And then just a reminder, everybody, that signal is going away. So if you want to keep listening to KDWN, just stick with 101.5 FM. We sound better there anyway, so it's all good. Joe DeFalco with me. Joe, by the way, got a winner, and it'll be Chad H. from Las Vegas is going to see Sergeant Slaughter. How about that?
Sergeant Slaughter, that Iranian turncoat?
Well, yeah, we won't hold it against him, though.
Okay. I will. You don't have to.
All right. Sarge was one of my favorites when I was a kid, and I'm very excited to be working with the Vegas Toy Show gang, and so Chad, congratulations, and I also want to give a congratulations to Brian, who won those Impact tickets earlier. So Brian's going to be going to the Impact tapings for Fallout, either Saturday or Sunday, whichever one he picks. So congratulations to Brian for winning those tickets as well. So see, it pays to listen to the show.
See that? That's why you have me on.
Yeah, doesn't hurt. Oh, man. Well, Joe, now we've got all our guests finished up. I want to give you a little more a chance to kind of elaborate on everything that happened at Elimination Chamber last night. We've got about 5 minutes to go. Just general thoughts about the card last night. What'd you think?
I I didn't watch everything. I forgot about it. I got home at like 8, and then I had to wait for the replay. So I watched the matches that I was interested in because, you know, I read up on it beforehand. And I thought the Lesnar-Lashley finish was horrendous. Like, what was even the point? And the one thing I took out of that show that really, really was important to me was, you know, the passion of the fans and them actually caring. And there's so many shows, whether it's even the independent shows, and they're popping for certain things. And I saw it because we had GCW, Jimmy Lloyd's birthday party show at our event. And those GCW fans are so much like those Montreal fans, where that they were passionate about everything. They aren't going to crap on somebody missing a move. You know, they're just so excited that the wrestling is there. And because Montreal doesn't have that wrestling, and the way that storyline worked out with Sami Zayn, you know, being in the main event, and as over as Sami is, I don't know if the shows in Pittsburgh that the fans are the way they were in Montreal. And it's like, man, how do we get that passion from our fans who come to our shows? I mean, we got great fans and all, but it's like it just took me back in the old days when you would see stuff. And that's how the fans would react. And you see it on Facebook every once in a while. And they're showing stuff from whether it was Austin and The Rock. And they were so emotionally invested. And I think that's the problem that wrestling has these days, that it's hard to be emotionally invested in a feud because the feuds are never ending anymore in WWE. So it isn't like you've gotten to WrestleMania and either the hero vanquished, you know, the evil wrestler. Nowadays, it's like, okay, well, come back on Monday Night Raw tomorrow and see the rematch. And it's like, what? And just watching that fan base, you know, I was watching it. It literally probably took 10 minutes from when the introductions were done for Sami and Roman Reigns to even lock up.
Right.
And it was just like the atmosphere was electric. And I know you can't change finishes and you can't go in there and it's like, oh, we need to make Sami win this one for the crowd. But it's like those opportunities are so few that the emotion of Sami Zayn in that match winning would have been through the roof. And, you know, in the last 10 years, you probably can't count many other times that people were as passionate. I heard a little when I came on, you know, talking about the Kofi Mania and Danielson. And yeah, that kind of took a life of its own. But this has been a storyline build for so long. And Sami Zayn has generally been just a mid-card guy that if you were going to pick 20 people to wrestle Roman Reigns for a championship match, Sami Zayn wouldn't even be on the list.
No.
And the fact of the matter is, Sami Zayn, and even if it wasn't in Montreal, obviously we saw how over he was everywhere. If a Randy Orton or a Matt Riddle or a Seth Rollins came in, they wouldn't have gotten the reaction because WWE put together one of the best storylines that they have in the last 20 years. And that's why it's disappointing to me that I feel like, okay, they had the match, it's over, and it could have been milked to maybe it being in a steel cage or something where, you know, interference took over and Roman just didn't win the one match and we probably won't see another one anymore.
Yeah, I think this story is going to be headed straight into WrestleMania. They've got to make some adjustment, and I'm sure they've got something in mind. So, you know, I would just tell everybody be patient, and we'll see what happens after this. But you know, it was an amazing night, an amazing storyline, and you know, like I said, I hope the story finishes well, somehow at WrestleMania. It's going to be interesting in that creative room. I can't imagine after last night what they've got to be thinking just going forward for these next 6 weeks. It's going to be,
and I'll be honest with you, I'm not that excited about the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
No, and I don't think,
I'm really not.
I don't think they should do that either. I think you've got to figure out some way to get Sami a win for a title somehow, whether it's just for one night or something. I think they need to make a move and figure this out. And you can. I actually came up with an idea on Twitter if you want to check it out, guys. But at Mark Hoke Show. But we'll see. But that was something that like I said, I compared it to Money in the Bank with Cena and CM Punk. That crowd was like that, except maybe even better. So we'll find out.
It's even like the ECW thing when they put Rob Van Dam over John Cena.
Yeah.
It's that crowd. It's that electric. And the thing is, if everything goes as planned and Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns, I don't think it matters anymore, even if Sami Zayn did beat Reigns after the fact.
Yeah.
I just don't think the
we'll see.
excitement is going to be there.
We will find out. All right. Hey, thanks for being with us today. We want to thank Jeremy Lambert and Deonna Purrazzo for being on the show. Joe, thank you. Certainly do appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com, and our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. And don't forget, Tuesday, Jai Vidal is going to be on SportsX Radio here in the 9 p.m. hour on KDWN, so you want to tune in for that. And just get ready for Impact this weekend. It's going to be a blast at Sam's Town. Check it out at impactwrestling.com. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We'll see you next week. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.